the state of California, the governor of California just signed a bill that will make it legal for children in California to undergo gender transformation surgery. The governor of California just signed a bill that will make it legal for children to undergo gender transformation surgery. Brothers and sisters, I must respectfully and firmly disagree with any of you who think it's okay for children. I must disagree with the governor of California and any Negro in my community who think it's okay for a 12-year-old child to decide he wants to be a girl and get surgery at 12 years old so he can live the rest of his life as a female. When are we going to put an end to this? When is the black community going to say enough is enough? We are now letting children make permanent, irreversible life decisions before they even know who they are. We are now letting children make permanent, irreversible, life-changing decisions before they even know who they are. Brothers and sisters, we are losing our culture. We are losing our custom. We are losing our common sense. We are losing our culture as African people. We are losing our customs as African people. We are losing our common sense as African people. How can any state in this country, say it is legal for a child to have gender transformation surgery? Brothers and sisters, when are we going to say enough is enough? Brothers and sisters, I want to talk to African people. To my Europeans, no disrespect, but I'm talking to my Africans. For my Asians, no disrespect, I'm talking to my Africans. For my East Indians, my Native Americans, my Latinos, my Arabs, my Anglo-Saxons, my Jews, no disrespect, but I'm talking to African people. And here's what I want to say. African people, I'm disappointed in us. We have no right to undo what Almighty God has already done. I said we have no right to undo what Almighty God has already done. I said we have no right to undo what Almighty God has already done. You cannot, you should not, you must not, you will not take a child. I'm a doctor of child psychology. I'm an expert in child psychology. How do you allow a 12-year-old? How do you allow a 13-year-old? How do you allow a 14-year-old to decide that they are going to permanently dismember their body, permanently massacre their flesh because your son wants to be a boy? Excuse me, your son wants to be a girl and your daughter wants to be a boy. How can they know that at 10 years old? How can they know that at 11 years old? How can they know that at 12 years old? How can they know that at 13 years old? You're gonna let a child, you're gonna let a baby make an adult decision. You're gonna let a baby make an adult decision. You're gonna let a baby make an adult. No child knows what they want to be, but you're going to let a baby decide to have surgery. It's one thing if you're going to let them experiment with same-sex relationships, and I don't agree with that, but that's one thing. It's one thing if you're going to let a he call himself a her. It's one thing if you're going to let a her call himself a he, and I don't agree with that. But you're going to go further than that, and you're going to let your child decide to undergo permanent gender alteration surgery. So we're going to start seeing surgically altered boys and surgically altered little girls. Surgically altered little boys and surgically altered little girls. Surgically altered little boys and surgically altered little girls. Brothers and sisters, the European can do what he wants. African people must maintain our tradition. African people must maintain our culture. African people must maintain our customs. African people cannot, should not, must not allow our children to undergo gender transformation surgery. I totally disagree. I totally reject anybody who claims it is acceptable for a child to undergo permanent gender transformation surgery. To those who are opposed to the authentic African truth, if you want to be opposed to the authentic African truth, that is your business. If you want to be opposed to the authentic African truth, that is your business. But I do want to say this to you hypocrites out there. Let me say this to you hypocrites who claim to be against racism. Whenever I speak truth, you call it racism. But when the police kill black people, you call it justice. Whenever I speak truth, you call it racism. But when black people are economically marginalized and discriminated against, you remain silent. When I speak truth, you call it racism. But when black people are homeless in a country that they built, you call it justice. When I speak truth, you call it racism. But when black children are miseducated in mass, you say nothing at all. When black men are mass incarcerated, you say nothing at all. When black elders are thrown out of their homes because of property taxes and gentrification, you say nothing at all. Let me say something to you hypocrites. Let me say something to you hypocrites, that when I speak the authentic African truth, it's racism. When I speak the authentic African truth, it's racism. But when black people are killed by police, when black people are overlooked for jobs, when black people are gentrified, when black people are mass incarcerated, when black people are presented in less than our best images on media, radio, TV, newspaper, you don't say nothing at all. No, you are the racists. You are the racists. You are the racists, you devils. You are the racist. And because you don't want to call truth, because you want to be in denial about the racism that is rampant in American society, you want to hurl false insults and accusations. But I'm here to tell you right now, I will not dance if I don't like the music. I will not scratch if I do not itch. And I will not smile if I am not happy. I want you to understand me, overstand me, and understand me today. I want you to understand me, overstand me, and understand me today. I will not smile if it's not funny. I will not scratch if I'm not itching. And I will not dance if I don't like the music. This country is racist. It is built on racism. My ancestors built America. I said my ancestors built America. I said my ancestors built America, and we were not paid for it. We didn't get a retirement. We didn't get a pension. We didn't get a 401k. We didn't have no vacation days. We didn't get no labor laws. There was no civil rights laws. There was no human rights law. We built this country. That's right, brothers and sisters. The most oppressed, the most marginalized, the most discriminated against group in the world, in America, are the Africans, brothers and sisters. I'm not crying tears for nobody. I'm not crying tears for nobody. If I'm crying for African men, African women, African children, African elders. I'm not crying for nobody else. I wish you well. I have nothing against no non-African people, because as the father of civilization, as the father of humanity, I will not disparage my non-African children. As the father of humanity, I will not disparage my non-African children. As the father of humanity, I will not disparage non-African children, but I'll tell you this, I will not allow non-African children to get away with thinking. I will not allow non-African children to get away with thinking that everybody else's problems are more a priority over African people. Them days is gone. Them days of us crying for everybody else is over with. The only tears I'm shedding are for African liberation. The only blood I'm shedding is for African liberation. And if you got a problem with that, so be it. If you got a problem with that, so be it. It is all Africans for every African, and every African for all Africans.